you're expected to possibly bring something. There are all these extra things. And sometimes you just want to have a chance to sit down and take a breath, but you're just going to be constantly going, and you can get frustrated and down about the fact that you haven't had an opportunity to even enjoy a song or anything. And then you have other people who are in the season like the one that we both are in, where this big season of losses, where we are losing people who either birthed us, raised us, who we had great relate friendships with, and they are no more, and we are left behind just dealing with our emotions. And if you know about grief, grief is something, I don't think grief ever goes away.
No, and it doesn't
And it just
necessarily have it doesn't have a strict time scale to it. It
right. So
it,
it just
it works
is.
on its own.
And so, like, for me, I can remember there's a song that the song it came out in take Meet Me in St. Louis, the movie slash musical Meet Me in St. Louis with Judy Garland, and Judy Garland sings that song, Have Yourself a Merry Little Christmas. And that used to be my absolute favorite song. But now, as I've gotten older, that song makes me really, really sad, because it's like it can, pull me off or into, a sad place, because it's like I am confronting the day to day, okay, reality, you know and then we're talking about this, over in London, you've got this massive winter wonderland that's set up for the holidays,
Sure.
where we're taking field trips to Harrods just to look at the decor, and Hyde Park, and to Mayfair, and the other store that you were talking about, and you go and you see all of this
Or
over
Hamleys. Yeah,
here,
absolutely. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
then over in the United States, we go from winter wonderland to winter wonderland, from coast to coast, saying, okay, you should be happy. But if you're struggling with depression, if you're struggling with grief, you've got situations where there are very complicated and very disconcerting family dynamics, where your children, and then children are all younger children, can get off schedule. And so by the time Christmas rolls around, or if you don't celebrate Christmas, and there's no recognition of what you celebrate and acknowledge, you know, in a time where we're all Santa Claus, ho, 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 and, jingle bells. We're all supposed to just be that. So the question then becomes, well, how do we navigate this?
Yeah, and
Because
how do you remain your authentic self when
so,
where you know there are inadequacies, where you know there are issues that still need to be resolved, and yet
mhm,
you're being asked by the world, both financially and actually, to put on a happy face, to put a
yeah.
mask on, to mask up, and present to the world a unified feeling of jolliness.
Yeah, we're all going to be happy, and
It's like
every
enforced jollity.
yes, and everything. I think first I'm going to just say what I just think that you have to take things as they are. Take things as they are. Look at the reality of the situation, and don't allow yourself to be pulled in.
Right.
I think about and I'll send this to you afterwards.
Okay.
But in my years of solo mothering, there were Christmases that I could barely get my children anything.
Right.
And this is,
And that's relatively common,
I mean,
I
I
think.
just couldn't. And it was hard for me because I'd always been able to give them a lot, or give them many of the things that they wanted. We have my daughter has a what could only be described as a smaller version of the American Girl store. She still owns it. We have, I mean, she's over the years when she was younger, we've got almost every single type of American Girl doll ever made, right down to the Bitty Baby, and starting with the Bitty Baby. But to go from something like that and then not being able to, and feeling very, very bad as a parent, very bad because I couldn't give them that. And I had to really start taking a step back and stock of, well, what is really, really important. And so I think that as a starting point, you can take a hard look at your family and think about what is it and how is it that you want to celebrate the holidays? And what is it before sort of like I mean, the caboose is, I mean, the train has left the station because we've had Thanksgiving, and so now we're in a sprint because we've got less than 30 days before Christmas.
Right.
Let's take a pause and think about what you want your holidays to be, and then set expectations. You know that you may have family members who have issues, and those issues are going to show up when you all get together.
Right.
So don't have that expectation of a picture perfect holiday. But I'm also going to do this, and you and I have this, Gareth, and so we're going to share this with the people who are watching.
Right.
So, the Substance Abuse and Mental Health Services Administration, which is part of the United States Department of Health and Human Services, this is the federal government, a part of the federal government in the United States. They were kind. They on November the 27th, they published a blog post about how you support your mental health during the holidays. And so these are some of the strategies. You can go and you can read the larger report for yourself. Pay attention to the way that you feel. Do an inventory. How am I feeling? And take the temperature of your household. Develop a plan for what you're going to do when you are feeling stressed and you're feeling lonely. Because the holidays are also a very lonely time for people. They may not have family. Practice self care. I know we use self care so much that it's almost become, I don't know what the word is, trite. But
Yeah.
really,
It's become almost the new normal.
right. It's like practice self care, and people are like, I don't really know what that means. But take time out and think of ways of that you can take care of yourself. And they don't have to be these big, huge things. Take a
Right.
walk,
Right.
listen to some music, take time out for some solitude if that is missing. Take time to decompress. One of the other things that you can do is connect with community. If your
Right.
family is like, if you know you have family members who have these issues, connect with your community.
And can I say, it's
Mhm.
okay to set boundaries. It's
Oh, yeah,
okay
you
to say
have
a
to.
no to invitations and activities just because you don't want to do
Exactly.
them. Don't feel obligated to participate in everything just because it's the holidays. And make
Exactly.
sure, and on doubling down on what you said, do try and connect with others. Do spend
Mhm.
time with loved ones that make you feel happy. I know we're supposed to love everybody in our family, but we have to be the first to admit
But yeah,
that some members of our
everybody,
family make us
right.
feel shit about ourselves. We don't need to spend time with those people.
Well,
And
and the other thing is that people are not our family members, all of our family members are not healthy themselves. And
no,
because they themselves are not healthy, then that creates problems for everybody else and chaos for other people. You do not have to take part or expose yourself to the chaos. figure out what your strategy is going to be if chaos erupts, and you know that that's not what you do.
Do you know what? I get very stressed when people are having arguments, family arguments in front of me that I'm not part of. And I can
Mhm.
see it play out in my own mind's eye that if I got involved, the potential for that to explode into something far worse. So, and do you know what? Sometimes I take myself out the argument, I go
Mhm.
sit in the car and I play some tunes. And the reason why I do
Yeah,
that,
yeah, I mean, you do not. I know that we live in an age where there are cameras everywhere and people are constantly, they whip out their cameras when they see conflict. You do not have to be an audience for conflict and foolishness. The others support, find some other people to support.
sure.
Avoid,
I've got a couple of other things I want to say.
oh, yeah, go
Um,
ahead.
if you're feeling lonely, and this is what Christmas is a time for loneliness. I'm sorry, but
Hmm.
it kind of
Hmm.
is. Reach out to friends that you haven't seen in a while that you've got positive memories with. Volunteer your time. I think that's a cool one.
Exactly.
And
Exactly.
maybe even, dare I say it, and I'm not just reaching out to people of my age, but I'm saying join a holiday club or an activity group, something where you can be around people to do something positive for each other.
Exactly, exactly. And the biggest thing, and you mentioned this, Gareth, that you have to do is, there are two things. Number one, know when you need help. Know when you need to reach
Be honest
out
with
for
yourself
help.
about it. Be
Yeah,
honest
be
with yourself.
honest. But the other thing is, draw boundaries. Do not hesitate to draw boundaries. One of the things that I did, and this is wasn't in a holiday season, but when I was in a daily stress box loaded with microaggressions, what I did when I was finally able to get myself healthy and stable, I drew a square around myself and I said, "Do not cross." I mean, literally told them, "Do not cross this boundary." Everything, if it's related to this place, this work, what we do, that's one thing. But anything else beyond that, draw a boundary, stand in it, and just tell people, you are not going to step across this boundary. You are not permitted inside my box, and hold firm with that. Um, because at the end of the day, you have to take care of yourself.
Right,
If you have children, you
right.
must take care of them. And if you have a spouse or elderly parents, people who are vulnerable, and you can take care of them, do what you can to protect them. Um, and just recognize that sometimes the holiday is not perfect. Life is not perfect. You are not perfect. I am not perfect. We
Right.
all just get up every day and we do the best that we can every day. And sometimes it's moment by moment, hour by hour, but you do what you can in the moment, in the hour, in the day. That is what we do. And that's okay. It is absolutely okay. So, the one thing I will say is happy holidays to everybody. Gareth and I will be back.
Absolutely.
We'll be back over the course of the month. We're not going anywhere, at least not
I've got
yet.
I've got to say to everybody,
Hmm.
this is unscheduled, but I've got to celebrate our friendship and our relationship.
Yeah.
We started these sessions as a way for you to work out why you'd gotten to where you'd gotten, and
Hmm.
then to be able to change your headlight to look forward to see where you're going and how you're going to get there.
Right.
And part of that, but in the process of this, we've been in so many ways each other's support. And I'm saying
Yeah.
to other people, we were complete strangers when we started this.
Exactly.
You
Exactly.
can find friendship, kinship, intelligence, conversation. You can negate the feelings of low self-worth and all the rest of it by finding somebody who gets you. And
Mhm.
I use
Yeah.
us as an example of that because I'm
Yeah,
certain
absolutely.
I'm certain where there's one, there's 20. You know, you can find it. So I say to everyone, I echo what you said. Happy holidays. We ain't going anywhere. There's more to come. But what I would say is find your happy.
Mhm.
Be the wonderful person I know you all are, and just know who it is you can send a message to who would and where you can say, do you know, I'm just not feeling right. I'm feeling a bit, I just need something, and they'll get you. That's what you need. People like that in your life
Mhm. Mhm. Right. And not chaos.
and not chaos. And on that note, and it's a note of positivity, I wish you all the happiest of holidays. And remember, it's not just the lights around Harrods that need to be bright; it's also the light inside you too. I think I might even take that as a sign off in future. Happy holidays, one and all, and also I wish you all great mental health.
Bye.